Top news headlines. World AIDS Day observed in state. Scheme to deliver ART at doorsteps of people living with HIV will be launched within this month, announces Chief Minister N. Biren. Projects of BJP-led government facilitate promotion of skills, talent of artisans of state in international markets, asserts Textile, Commerce and Industries Minister T.H. Biswajit. And MLA of Wangkim Assembly Constituency K. Meka Chandra dedicates brick paving Koirom Gwarok Road at Yaipo, Koirom. A very good evening and welcome to Mami TV Primetime English News. This is MASACO NINGTHOUJAM giving you the latest news updates. Chief Minister N. Biren has announced that a scheme to deliver ART at the doorsteps of people living with HIV will be launched this month with an aim to ease the hardship faced by them. The Chief Minister was speaking at the observance of World AIDS Day on the theme End Inequalities, End AIDS and Pandemic at Manipur Rifles Battalion today, organized by Manipur State AIDS Control Society. Asserting that no person wants to be HIV positive, Chief Minister N. Biren urged the people not to stigmatize and discriminate people living with HIV. He termed it unfortunate that many children with HIV have not been able to get ART and exhorted NGOs engaged in global response to HIV and AIDS to be more proactive to cater to the needs of people living with HIV. On a positive note, the Chief Minister noted that HIV positivity rate in Manipur, which was recorded at 3.1%, has been declined to 1.18%. However, the rate in the state is still high in comparison to 0.22% positivity rate across India, he said. Stating that various stakeholders need to give all-out efforts to control the disease, he urged the organizations to inform the government of any necessary help and assistance. The Chief Minister further appealed to the people to raise their grievances to the government through the recently launched CM Dahaisi scheme.
Public na police information period. So I like I just criminal am lere. I like I just mine to drug karwa to bom lere. I like I just to huran bom lere se. Period. Adu pau do public na police pau period mina sugum ba one in the hogoksin fokada ba prevent to bom me. These are the few things. Oi awat mayam am laigani. Sahi humbu humra gi la pot sahi mari Sidai de Koina, Loina Shambokonga Moy. I pay a Kangani Mayam Dagi opinion, Mayama Malawi. I gi WhatsApp group difference group kilay. I gi mobile, I open hangi. Kana Bakayam de Gabo. A job has a suggestion Mayama. Madugi Mayam Dagi Lapa suggestion committee Mayama perform Torgale. Madugi Lapa suggestion Mayam when implement over 100 days. Nasi making a sagi salupi gido, and the Berenjinagido. King, Tabas Mayam, where more is white. A quick king, a double, 10 as you 10 man. Have a photo quick, like that to a interest that Maruena victim Mara legible, legible victim or a wishing Sigia, Moyi, and a ga, a tuba, yum the Salaga, KRT, see, Tilanaba, the Madumaran kind of Hangano with the Makoi. In a size hijack Remadu Mai Yam Tuna, Hantaki Matangi, Tajik Mai Madma, a lost over need of Sony.
Taking part in the observance, Governor of Manipur La Kanesan commended the initiatives of the government and NGOs to curb HIV in the past 30 years, while acknowledging that Manipur was the first state in India to formulate state AIDS policy. He also appealed to the people to save innocent children and mothers from contracting HIV. The governor urged the youth to take up sports and contribute to further development of the rich art and culture of the state to bring about a more developed and advanced society. He also stressed the need to raise awareness on HIV test before marriage.
Here, I would like to appreciate the role of the non-government organizations and agencies during the last 3 decades in providing preventive services and care to the people. Without the active role of the NGOs, the situation would have been worse. On this occasion, I appeal to the young people to become more and more aware of HIV and AIDS and also to participate actively in the programs and policies of the government and NGOs in the fight against the HIV and the AIDS, and help the children affected by HIV by letting them have a bright future. Let us join in making HIV-free Manipur. One important thing is that prevention is better than cure. But about that, if I want to explain, it will take more time.
A woman living with HIV drew the attention of the governor and the chief minister to the hardship facing people living with HIV in getting ART on the occasion. Governor La Ganesan inaugurated Link ART Center and E-Office of Mau Sub-District Hospital in Senapati District during the observance. The governor and the chief minister inspected stalls of different NGOs opened in connection with the observance and also interacted with representatives of the NGOs. Minister of Textiles, Commerce and Industries Thongam Biswajit has asserted that the benefits of different projects provided to artisans of handloom and handicrafts by the BJP-led government will enable the artisans to showcase their skills and talents in international markets. The minister was speaking at the closing event of the third phase training cum workshop program on strategic design intervention for new product development and production capability enhancement for Manipur crafts, organized by Mission for Economic Empowerment of Traditional Artisans and Craftsmen, MITAC, at Classic Grande. Minister Biswajit said the objective of MITAC, which was established with ex-governor of Manipur, Najma Heptullah, as a Patreon member and he himself as a chairman, is to encourage the artisans to start entrepreneurial ventures into order to address the problem of unemployment, to boost the economy of the state and to promote the skills and talents of the artisans. He also mentioned that MITAC has taken up initiative to sell the products of the artisans in international markets and to establish their market links in partnership with National Institute of Design, Ahmedabad. MITAC has also been promoting standardization and upgradation of various old designs, he added. Certificates were also distributed to the artisans and craftsmen who took part in the training program. MLA of Wangkhem Assembly Constituency, Kesham Meghachandra, handed over Khoirom Gwarok Road of Yaripo Khoirom to the locals after renovating the road to a brick paving road today. The MLA also laid foundation stones for construction of community halls at Atobung Market and Khoirom Matak Lekai and for construction of an approach road over Tamengkong Canal in Hydropokpi Masjid area. Speaking on the occasion, MLA Meghachandra stated that the brick paving inter-village road was constructed by the locals and job card holders at an estimated cost of 5 lakh rupees from MLA Local Area Development Fund. The road will not only address the inconveniences faced by the locals, but will also make devotees coming to offer prayers to Gwarok Mahadev more convenient, he said. Meghachandra also assured that the efforts will be made to complete the construction of the 2 community halls and approach road for which foundation stones were laid today. He also stated that blacktopping of roads in surrounding areas of Hydropokpi will be started from today and floodlights will also be installed.
Ngasigi program si ako mari lai akoi han bada ngasigi sangabagi program sima adigi brick paving lambi sima sangaraba batuda akoi foundation stone community hall ani maga adigi apikpa khara thong ama adigi petrol popida lambi sembagi hobagi program adigi foreign evening da field floodlight haidana akhoi achoba football ground amagi mai thanbagi program asigi program se akhoi mathang mayam lekai sigi parda mayam khoiromgi maroina parda mayam sing akhoi pullaga asi sangaba amasung foundation stone ki program si mathang paikhatchagadabani.
All Tribal Students Union (ATSUM) urged the state government to announce the date for winter session of the Manipur State Legislative Assembly at the earliest, as agreed between the representatives of tribal student bodies and the state government on November 25th. ATSUM, in a press release, further urged the government not to repeat the history of disappointing the tribals by ignoring and dismissing legitimate rights of the hill people of the state. Failure on the part of the government to fulfill its assurance would be regarded as befooling the tribal population in the state of Manipur once again, it added. ATSUM further stated that it fully endorsed the Hill Areas Committee's resolution on Manipur Hill Areas Autonomous Council Bill 2021. It also added that the state government is reminded of the past precedent that in August 2015, an emergency session was convened and 3 controversial bills were introduced and passed in 3 days. ATSUM said the present ADC bill recommended by HAC aims to reduce the acute development disparity between the hills and the valley and maintain that it will not tolerate the unconstitutional denial of tabling a bill that aims to bring equality and equity in Manipur. Volunteers of Joint Coordination Committee on Wildlife and Biodiversity, JCCWB Manipur, seized 4 bird traps during a drive against poaching of birds and wildlife at Lilong Usoipokpi today. Members of Wildlife and Biodiversity Conservation Committee, WBCC, Arapti branch, and a team of Lilong police led by SI S. Bikramjit also took part in the drive. The seized bird traps have been reportedly destroyed by setting on fire at Lilong Police Station complex. Speaking on the sidelines of the drive, convener of JCCWB, NINGTHOUJAM, said that the committee had conducted many awareness programs on protection of wildlife and had seized bird traps several times from Lilong Usoipokpi part. He termed it unfortunate that such unlawful activity is still carried out in the area. Romesh also stated that the locals of the area have been urged to stop catching of birds in the area. A memorandum of understanding was signed between Forest Department, Government of Manipur and ICICI Foundation for Inclusive Growth for establishment of 8 spring water harvesting units in Imphal East and Imphal West districts. It is said that the 8 water harvesting units shall cater to the potable water needs of about 3,000 households. The project is expected to be completed by the end of this financial year. The foundation had also funded 3 such units earlier, 1 each at Lamding and Kaming village of Imphal West District and Mongjam village of Imphal East District. The MOU was signed by Conservator of Forests for Central Forest Division, Forest Department L. Joy Kumar, and Head Programs Rural Livelihood and Value Chains, ICICI Foundation, Suketu Kumar. Speaking on the occasion, Principal Chief Conservator of Forest expressed gratitude to ICICI Foundation for sponsoring such projects with the purpose of providing drinking water to the people and also in protecting and conserving in the catchment areas of adjoining reserved forest. Green Brigade Manipur distributed winter gifts at Micro Bazaar at Tobul Ward No. 2 in Bishnupur district yesterday. Blankets sponsored by Thokchom Ongbi Sangita were presented to 38 elderly persons of Tobul on the occasion. A bag of rice was also presented to T.H. Okendro of Tobul Mamang Lekai, Ward No. 2, who has lost both the parents. President of BJP Bishnupur District Committee, R.K. Bimola, Vice President K.H. Lakshman, Thokchom Sangita were among those present on the occasion.
Country Hatare, Sidaisa, Kuimamo, Manil Makubu, Haloriba Singu, Tatitawana, Obiba, Aduba Kayama, Taba Pagi, Adubai, Lekashida, we have a dinner Saturday, Adumana, and Hansibu, Sukimati Karlo Zenini, asiki mati nungchide ai jamna naina tawbati nasade chana pasida naha uiba khoibokta suking ragan sida ahan sida aina garigumba phima ta orabasu khoikon tamba matamda ahan singina ing khang phabato adu mana aina pinjaba oiba.
It's time for a short commercial break. Stay tuned for more updates.
To touch the pinnacles of success for your children, get enrolled to one of the finest schools in Northeast India, UNESCO School. Excellence in education.
Welcome back after the break. Moving on to the national news, India recorded 8,954 new COVID-19 cases with 267 deaths in the last 24 hours, 28.1% higher than yesterday. The fresh cases took the country's total caseload to over 3.45. With 267 deaths reported in the country in the last 24 hours, the total reported death count increased to 4.69 lakh. A total of 10,207 patients recovered in the last 24 hours, which took the total recoveries to 3.40 crore across the country. With this, India's recovery rate stood at 98.36%. Meanwhile, India's active caseload slipped down to 99,023 and the active cases declined by 1,520 in the last 24 hours. So far, India has administered a total of 80.98 lakh COVID-19 vaccine doses in the last 24 hours, which brought the total tally of doses administered to over 124.10 crore. Lok Sabha proceedings were adjourned till noon today amid continuous protests by members of the Telangana Rashtra Samiti (TRS) over farmer issues. This is the third consecutive day that the question hour was disrupted since the winter session of the parliament commenced on Monday. Members of the TRS shouted slogans and displayed placards over farmer issues in the well of the House during the question hour. Speaker Om Birla told the protesting members it was not the right thing to do and emphasized that the question hour was important. The Speaker also urged the members to make efforts to ensure that such wrong behavior and practices are stopped in the House. As the protests by the members of TRS continued, Birla adjourned the proceedings till noon. Prime Minister Narendra Modi extended wishes to the people of Nagaland on its Statehood Day and said they are making rich contributions to the country's growth. Nagaland, which is a border state in the northeast, became a state on December 1st, 1963. Prime Minister Modi, in a tweet, greeted the people of the state and said that Naga culture personifies valor and human values. He further added that the people of Nagaland are making rich contributions to India's growth and prayed for Nagaland's progress in the years to come. As many as 187 insurgency-related incidents rocked the northeast region this year, informed by the Centre on Tuesday in Parliament. The Ministry of Home Affairs, MHA, informed the Lok Sabha on Tuesday that the data recorded is still November 15th. Moreover, the MHA also informed that a total of 39 insurgents belonging to different insurgent groups of the northeast were gunned down by forces. On the other hand, as many as 20 civilians and 8 security personnel have also lost their lives in insurgency-related incidents. 20 civilians, 8 security forces personnel, and 39 insurgents were also killed in insurgency-related incidents this year, the MHA further informed the Lok Sabha. Moving on to the international news, the Omicron coronavirus variant detected in southern Africa could be the most likely candidate to displace the highly contagious Delta variant, the director of South Africa's Communicable Disease Institute said. The discovery of Omicron has caused global alarm, with countries limiting travel from South Africa for fear that it could spread quickly, even in vaccinated populations, and the World Health Organization saying it carries a high risk of infection surges. If Omicron proves even more transmissible than the Delta variant, it could lead to a sharp spike in infections that could put pressure on hospitals. Acting Executive Director of South Africa's National Institute for Communicable Diseases, NICD, Adrian Purin said, scientists should know within 4 weeks to what extent Omicron can evade the immunity generated by vaccines or prior infection, and whether it leads to worsened clinical symptoms than other variants. And now, before we wrap up, the top news headlines once again. World AIDS Day observed in state. Scheme to deliver ART at doorsteps of people living with HIV will be launched within this month, announces Chief Minister N. Biren. Projects of BJP-led government facilitate promotion of skills, talent of artisans of state and international markets, asserts Textile, Commerce and Industries Minister T.H. Biswajit. And MLA of Wangkim Assembly Constituency, K. Mekha Chandra, dedicates brick paving Khoirom Gwarok Road at Yaripok, Khoirom. And that's all for the Primetime English News. Thank you for watching.